How long do you have to stay silent before your voice starts fading? Imagine you stop speaking, not because you're sick, not because you lost your voice, but simply because there's no one to talk to, no words out loud, only silence. Day 1. Physically, nothing changes. You can still speak normally. Broca's area still forms thoughts. Wernicke's area still processes meaning. Your inner monologue is active. Your brain just doesn't activate the motor cortex that controls your lips, tongue, and vocal cords. Your voice exists. You're just not using it. Day 3. You stop feeling the automatic urge to comment on things. You used to say small words out loud. Okay, yeah, right. Now you just think them. The brain begins to optimize. Social regions in the prefrontal cortex become less active without interaction. You can still speak, but your voice stops being a habit. Day 7. Now the change becomes noticeable. The motor cortex responds. A very large portion of my audience watches my videos without subscribing. Please click the subscribe button. This really helps the channel grow. Let's continue. For articulation activates much less often. Your vocal cords don't lose function, but they're no longer exercised. When you suddenly try to speak, your voice may sound duller, softer, slightly unfamiliar. Not because it disappeared, but because the system hasn't been used. 2-week speech is no longer automatic. You can talk, but it requires intention. Breathing doesn't sync with words as easily. Sentences are shorter, pauses are longer. Your brain relies more on internal speech, and that becomes dominant. 1 month of silence. You're still capable of speaking, but your voice is no longer part of daily behavior. The brain's social network, including temporal regions and the prefrontal cortex, stays minimally active without interaction. Speech stops being a tool. It becomes optional. At some point, you may realize you think far more than you speak. Your voice hasn't disappeared, but it no longer feels natural. You cannot permanently lose the ability to speak just by staying silent if your brain is healthy. But the longer you don't use your voice, the less automatic it becomes. Speech is a skill, and skills weaken when they're not used.